That makes sense.
Oh, God.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, hey, there's me.
Welcome to the world's largest mod party. I'm here with 5 other Nerfers, and we're gonna have a little chat for the next hour.
Hello.
Hello.
Everybody say
Hello.
hello.
I'm famous now.
So I think we should probably go around
I got a channel.
We should probably go around in a, I guess, clockwise on our screen and introduce ourselves. I am Adriana from Foam Blast. I host This Week in Nerf. I run a Nerf store selling upgrade parts and whatnot. I run a local game, and I've been to a whole lot of games, and I'm very excited to talk to all of these people. So, Wolfpack Nerf, who are you? What do you do? Where do they find you?
Hello, I'm Wolfpack Nerf. I do lots of integrations. I'm the creator of Tomasca, which still needs to get internals. I have a lot of different integrations that I'm working on. Currently, I'm on Discord and a couple of other places, but I mostly do integrations and internal mods.
Silver Experiments. What do you do? Why are you here? What you going to talk about today?
Eva, not solar. I'm a rather small creator for YouTube. I mainly just do whatever the heck I feel like doing. Right now, I'm waiting for Ultra 2 kit to come in before I can do that. But I'm mainly going to probably be talking about some stuff I already got done.
Cool. Excited to hear about it. MGK, how are you today?
Pretty good. Or you can just call me Kevin. MGK is just the screen name.
Okay, Kevin, got it. What are you doing? What are you planning on showing us today or talking about today?
So right now I'm working on 2 cages for a Griffin. One's going to be a Daybreak cage, and the other is going to be an HVZ spec cage.
Sweet. Bex, how about you? What are you working on over there?
So I work mainly on strifes and soldering. That's kind of my expertise. I've built quite a few for local customers here. The one I'm going to show is a brushless with an ultrasonic 2 cage, the Gen 3, and it has a select fire kit in it, and it has an extended pusher. So I'm going to show that one off. I was going to put together the ultrasonic kit for his standalone blaster, but that one is not working right now. So I have to work on it a little bit more. I have some other tips and tricks and stuff for a brushless build.
Awesome. Radio silence, probably stay on audio, but what do you do? Who are you? Why are you here?
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm Radio Silence 187. You can find me on Instagram, YouTube, and on the R Nerf Discord. So 3D printers got me into Nerf, and I ended up touching up on a lot of modding projects with Captain Slug and his Caliburns, Project FDL and their FDL3s, and just recently Orion Blasters and their new Lynx project. And I'm here to show 1 or 2 projects and the software that got me there, which happens to be Tinkercad.
And I think we're planning to show that towards the end here. But I'm really looking forward to seeing it. You do a lot of cool remixes. Wolfpack, what's that on your desk right now? What am I looking at?
Which one? This one or this one?
Big red one.
Big red one. So this is Tomasca. You've actually shown off on This Week in Nerf before.
Oh yeah, I remember that. It's just very tiny on my screen.
I still have to do internals for it, but it's going to be a solenoid pusher, smooth black worker wheels, 42 millimeter cage, and it's an integration of 11 different blasters. just a few of them. There's a rough cut up here, Praxis, iron fire handle, retaliator slide piece, launch out front blaster, legend fire barrel, crossbolt, more Praxis, and arrow fury. So a whole bunch of different things in here.
How do you even remember all of the blasters involved in there? Because I know when I do a build, I forget what springs I put in and which company's parts I put in. It's just like, hey, here's my blaster. It's done now, out of the brain.
I've just written it down so many
Already has a
times.
list.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
made a list a lot of times.
I believe that.
I've been doing integrations for about 4.5 years at this point. My first integration, which I need to redo, was this horrific Stryfly integration. It was pretty bad. Hot glue and this horrible epoxy putty. But yeah, that'll be redone someday. But that was my first integration I did. And now I've, in about 4.5 years or so of work of improving, I've gotten to this stage. I'm also working on this hammer shot right here with a rough cut grip, actually the grip from this rough cut, front of a Maverick, and then an ion fire rail on the bottom.
Awesome. I just think it's so cool that people are able to be able to look at a blaster and just see parts and then figure out how those parts go together. It's really, really cool. I love seeing integrations.
Yeah, the first integration that really got me into the hobby was actually the Hellhound by Mr. Nathan. I just loved that blaster.
It's a really nice blaster.
Yeah.
Zach Richard in the chat is asking what epoxy putty you use. So I know if you're going to be gluing things together, you got to use the right stuff.
Yes. So I use EP200 epoxy putty from Home Depot for pretty much everything. I rarely use normal epoxy or like plastic weld or anything. I've just found that EP200 is strong enough and just has worked really well for me. You can get it at Home Depot, and it's about $3.50 per tube, so it's kind of expensive, but it's not that bad.
Yeah, that's not too bad at all.
Some people say EP200 doesn't sand that well. This is EP200 right here, and it's as smooth as the plastic on here, if not smoother. And that's a combination of going up a ton of different grits of sandpaper from 80 all the way up to about a 600 grit wet sand, just in the sink. So,
Nice.
yeah.
Sanding is definitely my least favorite part of of doing any of the painting stuff. Michelle does all my sanding for me, and I do all of the masking for her. So that's a symbiotic relationship there.
Right
Yep.
there.
Yep. So I'm going to go through quickly the steps I usually take for doing an integration. So I usually don't really plan out my integrations. I mostly just say, hey, I want to put at least these two blasters together, and then I just keep adding more and more. That's kind of how Tomasca went. But for just the initial bonds and just to see if I like it, I usually hot glue parts in place. So you can see I haven't done the epoxy work on this side yet. I usually do hot glue first, and then I open it up and do epoxy putty on the inside to give it structure. And then to remove hot glue, I actually use, I don't know where, here it is. I've actually found glass cleaner is really good for removing hot glue for whatever reason. I have no clue why. It just works really well.
Interesting.
Yeah, I was like,
I would never have thought of that.
What could remove hot glue easily? And then I looked under the kitchen sink and I was like, oh, glass cleaner might work. And it did. So I just spray it on there and then dab it with some paper towel, and then it comes off pretty easily. Then I do the epoxy putty on the inside and then do it on the exterior, like I've done up here on this section. And then I I'll go around and sand down everything as smooth as I can get it, and then I'll paint each epoxy putty area. You can see some paint here to see if the line is perfectly smooth or not. If not, I go back with a really low grit sandpaper and then just go through the sanding process again to get it really, really smooth and to make it flow perfectly.
That's really cool. I've never actually tried an integration myself, but it's neat to learn that you just sort of go with the flow on just however feels right to put stuff together. Because I know I would just get way too bogged down in the planning phase and then never actually start.
Yeah, I almost never plan stuff. I planned out 5 blasters in total for Tomasca, just because I wanted to plan a little bit, but then I just went from there and just kept adding more and more blasters, and it got to the ridiculous number of 11.
Just crazy.
Yeah. The internals for this launch shot I haven't shown anywhere yet. They were actually sent to me by the commissioner. This was an integration that wasn't done the best, and he wanted me to improve it and basically redo the integration, and he sent along with it the internals for it. So these parts here are custom aluminum milled launch shot parts. So plunger rod,
That's awesome.
spring rest, plunger head, and then the back of the pusher. And these aren't, this is the only one the guy ever made. So these won't like ever be sold or anything. But yeah, that's what's going to go in here.
Awesome. I'm excited to see that one in the future.
Yeah.
Siva Experiment. You had did you have stuff to show us, or did you have something you just wanted to talk about?
Yes, I got a few
Yes
things
to both, or
to
yes to
show.
one?
Yes to both, but let's start with the first one.
All right.
Main thing I want to talk about is my gauntlet blaster that I made out of the Iron Man arm shield thing.
Iron Man arm shield. I'll have to look that one up.
It uses the stock demolisher and rapid strike pusher. No upgrades to that as of current. But I'd say personally that this is like by far the best thing I've ever made, that from just straight relative scraps.
Yeah, I know a lot of people have.
I'm gonna mute my mic.
That's fine. I know a lot of people have attempted
I'm gonna
making.
fire this.
Yeah, a lot of people have attempted making gauntlets, and I haven't seen too terribly many follow through on it. So it's cool to see arm mounted blasters.
Yeah, I just shouted all. I just didn't want to let the
Didn't want to
noise
blow out everybody.
be in the thing. I mean, I could just take off my headset and do it behind me because I got a few feet behind me.
That's a lot of
probably
moving around.
Enough, but
yeah, our mounted blasters are really cool. I know that's why I was so excited to see the Tempest come out. It's just like, oh, a blaster that's actually decent, that just works. Sweet.
oh,
No, it's not mounted, but close enough for me.
yeah, that thing is a bit heavy on the arm though, especially since I got a little bit more weight in my arms and stuff like that. It's become a little bit painful to carry, but I can easily fix it.
Yeah, hopefully not too bad. Have you
now
seen...
the next thing is oh, you go ahead first.
I was going to ask if you had seen somebody made an arm-mounted gauntlet that had a proton pack attached to it. It looked.
Oh yeah, I've seen it. It's
yeah.
kind of really cool.
Yeah, the arm-mounted stuff is neat. So what's this next thing?
First, before I show the next thing, I just want to say I'm gonna make another arm-mounted blaster using with mega darts instead of the elite darts. I can't wait for that. That'll be fun for me.
Megas are really fun. Even games that they don't have a specific purpose, Megas are just great.
Yeah. This next thing is SIVA prototype 84.3254187. I cannot remember that off the top of my head currently. I had to read it off of the paper. Yeah, this is my first attempt really at an integration, and it's a bit misaligned, but I'm fine with that. It actually compensates for itself for me being a lefty. Compensates itself well.
Are you still just
With the
working
slight
on
angle.
shell stuff, or does it fire yet?
Oh, it fires. Let me grab a mag real quick. I'm gonna mute my mic again when I start revving it.
Yeah, it's
I don't want to
probably
drown
smart.
out eardrums because this one is loud. But yeah. It's powered by you guys' Michelle 2s,
Nice.
which I'm actually really loving.
Good. They're super cheap and plentiful.
And it's using these worker smooth wheels that I'm using again for my Ultra 2.
Nice. For the Ultra 2, are you doing the cylinder replacement, or are you just doing the long dart conversion?
Yeah, I'm gonna do the conversion. I'm gonna do the conversion. The next one I'm planning on leaving stock though, because I kind of like the Ultra 2.
Yeah. So the integration you have there, what's it made of?
It's a Strife and a Firefly. Honestly, I don't know why I thought of doing it. I just really like the way the Firefly shouldered, and since I always like Strife, so I was like, might as well put them together.
I know the Firefly stocks have been pretty popular in integrations because there's a lot of really interesting detail there.
I have one right here in mine.
Nice. Yeah, that's a pretty cool blaster.
Sensitive trigger. This thing has a sensitive trigger. I actually just shot it at the floor.
Whoops.
I'm
I
just
know.
gonna take the bed. That.
I definitely prefer my blasters to have a more sensitive trigger. I know some of the long shots, like if I've never liked the metal triggers in those because I just feel like it's such a hard pull. I'd rather just be like clink. There we go.
Oh yeah. I get what you're talking about. Now, this next thing I actually can shoot and not mute myself. Lever action, side fed, switch fire.
How's the side
Hold
feed
on, let
work?
me just grab a show real quick. That's what I'm about to show you. If I can, there we are. I got a drawer full of junk, pretty much. Yeah. Side feed works.
That's so weird.
Works kind of like basically just plop it in. Then you like basically now that it's basically put in like this, and then you just push it back until you hear that loud click, and it's in really good. And it gets a good
Nice.
seal.
I would never have thought of doing a side load for that. That's a really interesting idea. Let's see what Kevin's working on in his bench there. So you said you had 2 Griffins going on?
All right.
So I had 2 Griffin cages going on. One is for daybreaks. Oh, I forgot which one's which, but one's for daybreaks. And then one is for cyclones, which is going to be an HVZ build.
Sweet.
And
So are you
then-
doing anything like super special with your Griffins? Any custom parts, or just a straight up build?
So this one's just a straight up build for a friend of mine. Just because my HVZ primary is actually a Strife, which is using like old Hawkeye parts and a Heston cage.
Nice. I love the Heston cage. It's super quiet, super accurate. It's great.
I'm just waiting on my vector parts for that, which I got not from NF Strike, but I traded some parts for it, and I'm just waiting on those.
That's super cool. So I just had a question and it just pooped right out of my mind. What keyboard is that?
Oh, so this one?
It's really pretty.
So I actually, along with Nerf modding, I like to get into like a lot of other hobbies where I just build stuff. So I actually just built this keyboard just today.
Nice. So you just casually posted in frame.
Yeah.
That looks really, really nice. I hope you're
Can I talk about 2 more things?
I think we'd run out of time.
First.
Still have to get to Bex and radio silence.
Oh, I'll just say, I'll just show it. Yeah, I'll just show it and say its name or what it is. Is that fine? Or do you? Oh no, just go to radio. Just go to radio. I just looked at the time. Go to radio.
Let's go to
Never mind. Disregard.
Let's go to Bex first. We're gonna go in the
I'll
loop.
just show 'em off
What you
anyways.
working on, Bex?
So this is my personal blaster. It's a Select Fire Strife with ultrasonic Gen 3 wheels. The wheels are machined out of acetyl, so they're quite quiet, way more quiet than any other I've ever had. So there isn't that deafening.
Yes,
sound
that's
from
not
it.
bad at all. That's super quiet.
So some of the things that I wanted to share with the group when I was kind of learning how to do this is that you got to solder onto fairly small parts. So I invested in this Hacko station. They're about $100, but they have more temperature control and they're a lot easier it makes it easier to solder small parts. But then you also need something with a little bit bigger tip for like the 16 gauge wire. So you basically need 2 tips, one that's bigger, one that's smaller. I like just running 2 soldering irons. So these are some of the parts that I use. We used to use these Emax Lightnings, but I have found that these work a ton better. These are the Emax Formula series, so they're 45 amp ESCs, and they're just about the same size. So these are what I use now because they hardly ever die when there's a jam. So that's what I'd suggest.
Nice.
If you're looking at aluminum flywheels, they're a little bit too heavy. So I've got a set here that I'm going to have to figure out how to lighten because these brushless motors can't quite spin them up and they get really hot. So I'm going to be building, I think, maybe about 5 of the ultrasonic dedicated blaster. It's one that's completely 3D printed, controlled by a touchscreen. So I'll be posting those up, but that's my next big project. This is kind of the one that I use for HVZ. So I'm gonna do a fire test now for you guys.
Yeah, go for
And
it.
I hope it works. So first we'll do single. for those. And we're out.
That sounds amazing.
That sounds really nice. So you
Yeah, that sounds
Did you-
really good.
did you say you had the aluminum wheels inside there right now, or is it the printed wheels?
No, they're machined acetyl. So I found that they
Oh,
work
nice.
the best. There's a guy in Germany that does them for ultrasonic. His name's Raul Maybach. He's the one that sourced these for me, both the aluminum and the acetyl, but I found a local source that can make the acetyls for me. So I'll be doing that. I'll do it. Yeah. I can do a full auto mag dump for you if you want. I just have to reload one. So
Let's
have any
let's do
questions?
that at the we'll do a mag dump at the end. Maybe everybody can mag dump at the same time. That'd be fun.
Cool. Sounds good. Any questions?
Yes.
So how does one go about learning how to do all the brushless stuff? Because there's so many different pieces and parts involved, and they're not really ubiquitous in Nerf yet. Like it's still like
Right.
a step above, like a more difficult to get the pieces and put together than brush motors. So how do you find that information?
So I had kind of a head start on the Nerfing community because I used to race RC cars. So I know a lot about brushless motors already because that's what I used in my RC cars. In order to learn it, the best thing to do is to go onto Thingiverse and look up Ultrasonic 2. He's put together this build, not this build in particular, the Select Fire, but the brushless build. He has free STL files. He tells you the parts list. He has everything you need, and he even has kind of like the Arduino code that you need to load into your Arduino, because that's something I had no clue about. I
Nice.
never touched an Arduino before before I put it in this blaster. So yeah, just head to Ultrasonic 2. He's a guy, his name is Michael, and he's out of New Zealand, and he put it together, and I just built it and made it work. But
That sounds like a great starting point for anyone who
Yeah.
wants to get going with that. That's really cool.
absolutely, yeah. And there is a little bit more cost involved.
Yeah.
You're looking at $90 to $100 worth of parts to get it going. But I think that the brushless has an advantage in efficiency, definitely in FPS. This one, my personal record's 220, so that one's at 220 on a
Nice.
yeah. Average is between 180 and 200. You have to build up about 100 darts worth of material on the wheels before it really starts hitting high FPS. But
Yeah, that's
I
important
think-
for any blaster. Before you actually like crony your numbers, you have to make sure you get that dart build up first.
right, and then at full speed, it has some diminishing returns. So you can usually run it about 20% lower, and it hits right 170, 180, 190. So I'm like usually about 180.
That's super
So-
awesome. And radio silence. I'm sorry that I mathed wrong. Planning out the time for everybody. My bad.
No.
Do you want to get your what you have to show us up on screen? So while that's being pulled up, how about you explain what we're going to be looking at here?
Just a few things, and I have one or two projects I can showcase. One of them's one of my more recent ones, and another one's just I guess a fan favorite. So I got into the Nerf community because of 3D printing, and a lot of that has been supplemented by Captain Slug and the Project FDL and a bunch of other community members who have been posting their builds. And it's great that there's hardware available from web shops, and just it's easy to print stuff from home and just remix them and come up with something that's completely customized and have it work. And so what I use, instead of just regular, people use SolidWorks, people use Fusion 360. I tend to go the easier route because I'm a graphic designer and I'm used to using Photoshop, Illustrator, PowerPoint, different things like that.
Same.
And so for me, it's like trying to control different aspects of a body or a shape. It's difficult, and I can't wrap my head around that. And so here I am using Tinkercad, something made for kids, and doing the best I can to make these shapes turn into a nice blaster that people will appreciate. So here is one of my first projects. Oh, actually, no, why don't I just show you what I've done with an FDL? So here is a FDL 3 bullpup that I put together sometime a couple months ago.
That looks super nice. I feel like I've seen something like this from you before. Have I held?
I try to. I came over to one of the BTAs and I showed it off that weekend, like fresh from the print.
Okay.
And I finally got it working with 40 mags. And so here it is. One of the main renders. This is where I just put it all together and sliced it up to fit a 150 millimeter build plate. And so, you know, it's a big print and it takes a while to just get those slices made and oriented. And the difficulty in giving this out to people is, you know, will they be able to print it on their computer or on their printers? And so it's taken a while for me to distribute these files, but I would like.
What printer do you have? Like, what bed size do you need to get it done?
Right now, I'm using a mini from Lulzbot. So Lulzbot Mini, one of the first ever made, and
Gotcha.
I bought this like years ago, and things have gone up and down with that company, and who knows, there are different printers available at a cheaper price point, and I think with bigger beds, but I'm gonna try to cater to the ones that still retain like small print beds, just so you know it's more available to a larger audience. So there's that, and my computer is running kind of slow because of the stream, I guess. But
between the stream and having Tinkercad open, which it's incredible that you're doing this in Tinkercad, by the way.
Yeah, it takes a lot of patience, a lot of measuring, and just having the urge to try to build it. So here's the best way I know how to showcase what it does without any audio. This is my Imager account where I usually post a gallery of the things I've done. And these are usually available as posts on Facebook and Reddit. And I try to maintain a nice gallery so people get an idea of what I've been working on. My current project, like one I started this month, happens to be this, which is a large format plunger tube, just so I could use a 40 mag on a regular Caliburn U. So I got into figuring out the dimensions for this by just measuring a regular Caliburn, the plunger tube, and the size of a 40 mag. And the main difference with the 40 mag is it's really wide, just so you could double stack darts, and the original dimensions of a Caliburn are set for a narrow mag head or lip, I guess. And so getting around that, you kind of have to redesign the entire thing.
Yeah. And that
so,
looks really cool too.
Eventually I'll get there. It's just a matter of shifting a couple items up and down, and then deciding whether or not I can manage the tension of the spring as it's compressed without having it like do weird things inside of that plunger tube. So right now, here it is with try to sweep this over. Here's a solid of what this plunger tube will look like, and here it is next to an original Caliburn plunger tube. The difference should be pretty striking side by side. So I'll be using about a 2.5-inch diameter plunger tube, and that should nestle with this 40 mag just fine. And
That's just so cool. I think you might be the only person who uses 40 mags, though.
I know I'm stuck on it. This is what happens when Worker distributes a 40 mag, and it's like
no,
I
they're
kinda
really
like the
they're really
form
cool
factor.
though.
And I've toyed with the FDLs and their utilization of the 40 mag, and it's great when it works. And the main issue is just the pusher's just moving so fast, and things get jammed really quickly, and things get bad. So I figured I could offset that
Yeah, so
jamming
it should be a
problem by just
little
having
more
a front end.
reliable in this system.
Yeah, I'm betting on it. Like just having maybe a small guide right here somewhere in the dart chamber, and since it's like it's a little bit more open, if there's a jam, I'll notice right away, and I could remedy it. And yeah,
and just aesthetically, I don't really like the U caliburn very much at all, but your version, like this version, is super cool.
Yeah, I get a lot of reference material from video games and just things I like seeing on Instagram, and just I try not to go with like the real steel look, and I try to lean towards sci-fi as best I can.
Yeah, and I'm definitely partial to that look. I know a lot of the times I see stuff you post online. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. Oh, it's radio silence again.
Yeah, I try to keep it quiet. Like my aesthetic is just try to get stuff done before showing it off. That way people can't be like, oh, what happened to your project? I thought it was going to happen sometime soon. No, it's a work in silence until it's done.
That looks awesome. And I think I saw the Doom Shroud stuff in your Imgur there. Did you design that too?
The Doom Shroud. No.
Because I didn't know that one was you. That was another one that I loved.
That's by Gabriel.
That one's by Gabriel. Okay.
I know he built most of the Talon Claw material that everybody has embraced. It's just it's a great addition to the Caliburn open source community.
Yeah, honestly the best thing about the Caliburn has been all the variations that have come out of it, and I think Slug would agree that it's awesome that his design just keeps mutating into something better and better and better.
One of the things that I've touched upon is his remix of the TC to accept the Supercore. And I built one myself, and let me see if I can bring that up. I was lucky enough to pick it up before it got taken off Thingiverse. Ignore the cat. So here's the Supercore with all the fittings, and it's just a regular Talon Claw U. That's the plunger tube has been replaced with a Supercore. And the trigger mechanism sets off the solenoid or the valve, and so that was fun. Just a quick project.
That's really awesome. I love seeing and a cat. I love. I just love seeing all the remixes. It's great. Keep them coming.
Yeah, definitely. I'll try to keep on working on this to get it working. I was hoping to start printing sometime this weekend, but time got to me.
All right, so we got around and talked about everybody's individual projects. We'll get everybody up real quick, and I guess we can do like a round table of questions and answers if everyone's all right with that.
Yeah. I'd love to answer some questions
Yeah, I'm fine with
Absolutely.
about like integrations and whatever.
So how often is boxes flying around outside? I had a bunch of boxes and I put them out, and now it's windy. How often do you go to games, and whereabouts do you play? We'll just go in a clockwise circle, so we'll pack up.
I went for a while to this place called Dart Escape. It was this indoor Nerf arena here in Minnesota, and they had like foam floors, foam walls, and they had cover and whatever, but it just recently permanently closed because they were losing business due to COVID-19 or whatever. So that's unfortunate. But I have.
Hopefully, it's not a permanent closing.
It is. They said
no.
They said it was. But I have one of my friends, the guy who runs Project My Neighborhood, Matt. He's going to start doing more games of his own at I think this Lifetime Fitness near us that has an indoor field that we can play on.
Very nice. I went to Matt's world record attempt thing last year, and it was really, really fun. I will definitely be coming again the next time he puts on a large event like that. It was a really good time.
Yeah, I'm hopefully gonna be going to that, so that'll be really cool.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. Silva, what about you? Do you play often? Where do you play?
It's Siva.
Oh, Siva. I don't know why I'm just inserting an L in there. Sorry.
I don't blame you. Yeah, I do play down in Des Moines. I live in Iowa. I play down in Des Moines. Lightning Eagle. He was Lightning Eagle Nerf hosts it. We do it about once or twice a month or so. But
Nice.
due to certain current global pandemics that I like to call the Kung flu,
Nope.
we haven't had that happen.
That's really unfortunate that that all the games got shut down. Sad. Very sad.
Yeah,
MGK,
he wanted to keep them going, but Park Rec's closed.
Kevin, what about you? Are you
So,
playing often?
none recently, but I'm actually going to use this as a chance to plug my group.
Sure.
So I play with NJNO, NYCNO, and LINO, but we're in New York City, New York, and Long Island, so we're pretty much closed. But when we do have games going on, I'm playing at least once a month, sometimes twice a month.
Well, that's awesome that you have. Is it more than one group that to be able to play that often, or is it one group that just has events every other week or something?
So all three groups get together and have one big game once a month. And then New Jersey and New York usually have games at least once a week.
That's awesome. Hopefully we can all start going back to playing games again soon.
Yeah.
How about you, Bex? Do you play in real life or just stick to modding?
Oh no, I go out to wars hopefully monthly if I can get away from school and work. And I'm a moderator for the Utah Nerf Foam Flingers group. That's UNF.
Oh, very cool.
So that group is run by Patrick Rowe, and yes, we've canceled all of our events because the weather was just starting to warm up here in Utah, and we had one event that I couldn't make it to for some reason, and that was the last event we had, and that was in early March. So hopefully it comes back up again. This is my main primary when I go out there. This is my 3S poppered Nemesis. So that's what I use. And I also attended West versus Zombies. I try to make it out to to the big games. I was the White Knight with the Black Knight at the last West versus Zombies, so that was fun with Chelo.
That's awesome. We've been meaning to find time to take a road trip out to Utah, and when we do, we'll definitely be hitting up that club.
Yep,
it'll be
we
fun.
have a lot of fun. We usually get about 50 or 60 out monthly.
We've driven up to Seattle to play there before, and I think our drive to Utah is shorter, so no excuses. It'll happen eventually.
I'll be going out to Oregon for West versus Zombies again this year if it's still happening. So we'll see how that goes.
Iron's hot on the nozzle.
How about you, Radio Silence? I know I've seen you at some wars, but how often do you think you go?
Oh man. So like in 2015, we had meetups for Nerf, and that happened like I think once a month, and that's how I got started into the whole Nerf event and 3D printing stuff. Like that's where I met Ada Darts for the first time, and just like this huge community of Nerfers here in the Bay Area. So these days it's alphabet soup. We got Boss, BAUS. We've got Burn, Evan. There's Nerf Knight, Nobicon, Sang, which is a little bit more all ages. And I drop in once in a while to check out BTA. And I've been to Ragnarok, and let's see.
Yeah, you're really lucky being in the Bay Area. There's
we
many
have such a
clubs.
huge community here. I do want to check out the Nerf games over in Nevada and Washington someday, and maybe even SoCal. Like down there, I know they have a big scene.
So for me, I started my own group here in Reno, and I've been to play in the Bay Area for most of their organizations. I've played at the SCNC. I've played in Washington, and I want to go to more. I always want to go to more, but I have to say, Nerf Night is my favorite event. It's so good. It's a bunch of little kids in a church, and they like turn tables over on their sides for cover. Basically stock blasters. It's so great. It's just amazing. I think we have time for one more go round of questions. Let's take something from chat. Anything you guys want to ask everybody? We'll see what they come up with.
How do you guys feel about the Ultra line?
I want an Ultra 2 so bad.
Yeah,
I feel like Nerf is small brain for releasing Ultra 1 first. They should have made the Ultra 2 the Ultra 1.
Nope, I'm not interested in the Ultra line at all. Those darts are trash, in my opinion. I'm just done with that.
yeah, pretty much the same here, apart from probably an Ultra 2. I want to get one of those.
Yeah,
What's
all
the
of the
draw
ones
of the
I've
I'd say the
seen,
darts are not that bad.
the draw of the Ultra 2 is being able to insert the darts from the rear. Like, I feel like everyone wants a rear loading revolver, and the Ultra 2 actually does it well. It feels so good to fire. Like, just the tactile feedback on the trigger is amazing. It's just a shame that it fires Ultra darts.
I've seen all the conversions, so I think
Yeah.
maybe I might look into the conversion, but I just feel like those darts were just a horrible design, and I'm not going to support the price on them.
Yeah, I would definitely suggest keeping the stock cylinder, because there's no way you're going to get that feel off of a printed cylinder. But there are inserts to convert it to long darts. So that's good.
Right, I've seen those.
Can we get a brushless Ultra 2?
Ooh, that sounds like a good idea. Brushless Ultra 2.
So
Yeah,
Spam's
I could do
question, since we're talking about Ultra, what is your favorite ammo type? What do you prefer to use? I guess we'll go clockwise again, starting with Wolfpack.
For me, it kind of varies. Usually, I like just rival and half darts because I use my Caliburn a lot. I have to reprint the main magwell piece, but yeah, I like using half darts and rival pretty much.
Yeah, I like both of those too. I like most darts. Siva, what about you? Favorite ammo type?
I'd have to say it would kind of have to be ultra, but not really.
Why is that?
The reason is because I'm a bit of a sadist. I like inflicting pain. When it comes to horrible stuff, at least. And honestly, though, by far my favorite dart to use seriously would have to be Adventure Force darts. The waffle heads.
They made some pretty good darts. I'm really happy that Dartzone was able to make something that cheap. It's awesome. Oh, looks like Kevin already has his answer up
Yes.
on screen.
I'm a very big fan of half darts.
And those half dart Adventure Force ones work super well in flywheels.
Yep.
And then Bex is over here with his half-length AccuFakes.
Yeah, I found that actually legit AccuStrike darts work the best in these brushless high crush cages because they have really
Interesting.
strong glue on the tips. Like I decapitate just about everything, just about every 10th dart. On some of the older fake ones, it's like every third dart. So, yep, AccuStrike full length. On flywheels, you get higher FPS with the full lengths, but I find that the half lengths are way more accurate out of the barrel. So,
It doesn't matter how fast it flies if it can't hit anything, right?
right, exactly. So I think the half length out of the flywheels is probably the best, sacrificing a bit of range. But I like Rival too. It's easy to carry in paintball pods, and it's easy to reload in that hopper that I put on this Nemesis. So I'd say for general wars, I use this way more. But I'll try mixing this in and see how I like it in wars. I think that the accuracy and the range is going to be better with this blaster.
Yeah, looking forward to hearing about it.
Apparently, Dart Zone, or not, yeah, the Dart Zone is going to be releasing the bamboo style full length and half length darts separately by the end of the year.
Yay!
And that makes me very happy. Radio Silence, what's your favorite ammo type?
Sweet.
Oh man, I just recently converted to short darts, and
Yes.
you know, I still got to start cutting my own because I do want to try them out in brushless motors, and right now they're doing great in springers. You know, just packing a double burn full of like short darts is amazing, and I would suggest it to everybody to try. Now that we're stuck indoors, you know, one of the best ammo types to use right now is the Vortex disc, and so
Yes.
I'm planning on building something just for that. I already have like a basic layout for a dual pusher, and I'm going to see how well that works out within the next couple weeks.
Speaking of Vortex, I have plans to do a double length Ravonix 360, so it can hold 60 discs instead of just 30.
Double length, like double length mag?
Well, they taking two of them and taking the drum portions from both of them and combining them together as one long drum on making like a really long Ravonix 360.
I remember seeing probably about a year ago, somebody posted 3D printed Vortex mag. And it was basically
I remember that.
Just a cylinder with a spring. I don't know if anything ever came of that, but I thought it was really neat that you could just make as many cylinders as you needed and then glue them together. And if you have a spring long enough, maybe it'll work.
Yeah, just like a 200 round Vortex mag.
That'd be awesome. I am torn about my favorite type of ammo. I don't know if I prefer Vortex or Mega because they both have so many great blasters that are just so much fun to use. like when I play with Vortex, I use the Proton, and it's just people look really embarrassed when they're tagged by it, and that amuses me so much.
At Dart Escape, I managed to tag out someone using a Mega Burn with my Ravonics.
I've been tagged in the face at an HVZ with a disc right in the face. Nice. It was great.
Yeah, I've taken a few Vortex tags too. So like when it hits you, you're just like, I can't believe I let that happen.
Yeah, because they just float forever, and you have all this time to react, and then it still hits you somehow.
Yeah, mine was point blank, so I have an excuse.
At least one of us does. So have you guys gotten a lot done over this weekend? Have you been modding all through it since it started?
I've been working on this a lot. I've had this commission for a while, and because I live in Minnesota, I can't work for about 5 months of the year because it's too cold, and so I'm just catching up on this integration.
Unfortunately, I have school and work, so I haven't been able to really do anything except for today. And I needed to repair this. It was set up wrong, so I've completed it now, and I'm happy. So then I'll move to the ultrasonic 2 kit with the solenoid and the touchscreen. That's what I'll be working on the rest of the weekend.
Especially when you're busy, it just feels so good to be able to take a bit of time away to be like, I'm going to work on this now, and it's going to be awesome.
Right. And I'm glad it works.
Yeah.
I haven't really been working on anything. Mainly been wasting my time on Minecraft.
I was able to rebuild my plus bow yesterday.
Nice. I haven't tried any of the old school NIC mods yet. I probably should at some point, like actually cut my teeth on making something homemade at some point. I mostly use drop-in kits because I just want to play. That's the joy for me. Michelle does most of the modding.
I'd love to do a homemade blaster at some point.
I think the hardest part is tools. Just getting access to all the tools that you need.
I'd love to do a standard like homemade build too, like a rainbow pistol or snap pistol, whatever.
I'll actually try and show
Instead, I'm left with making janky stuff like what's on my arm right now.
I have a question for you guys.
Jealousy.
What's that?
What's your guys' most wanted blaster that you don't have right now? For me, it's probably a 95 crossbow. Or a red launch shot.
Hudson Pro Mark 1.1.
That's fair.
I think I want an FDL 3. I'd like to own one of those to kind of compare to this one and use.
I think I want a Falcon, that fly over the world dual stage pistol. It's so sci-fi and cool, and my bed's too small.
I want a bazooka.
Bazookas are cool.
Bazookas should be easy to find, right?
They are. I just don't have the money right now.
Oh
no. For prints,
I've not had any luck finding bazookas.
Yeah, I'll be printing the FDL. I don't have the money for a completed one either.
What printers do you guys have? I have an Ender 3 Pro and a MakerBot Replicator 5th Gen.
I use a Creality CR10 Mini with a Titan Arrow metal hot end and direct extruder.
Nice.
We've got Kitty X12s and Kitty Techs.
Cool.
I recently just upgraded to a Prusa Mini.
Nice. How's that working out? I was worried that might be too wibble wobbly. Does it feel sturdy?
It's pretty good for what I use it for. The only problem, there's some problems out of the gate that are pretty big. but other than that, it's pretty easy to fix.
I'm saving up for a Prusa Mark III. That'll be my next printer, unless they bring out a new one.
My friend just bought one of those.
Right, so we've only got a couple of minutes left, so why don't we go around real quick and tell the people your Instagram handles or your Facebook pages or and anywhere else that people can find you if you're showing off your work. We'll do the usual order. Wolfpack.
I'm on Twitch, not super often, but it's Fowlin73 for my Twitch, and then Discord I'm on a lot. I can put that in chat in a little bit, but I used to do stuff on YouTube, but when Kappa changed a lot of stuff on YouTube, I moved over to Twitch.
And you, Siva?
I really only have YouTube. I got Discord and stuff like that, but I mainly put my stuff on YouTube if I get around to it. It's Steven Experiment 42.9320.
The good thing these things are recorded so people can go back. Kevin, what about you? Do you have an Instagram or any place that you like to post things specifically?
So all my things, I can't remember all of them, but I am on our Nerf/Discord and the world's largest mod party Discord as MG Kevin. So if you want to know more, just hit me up there.
And you, Bex?
I have a small company called Bex Blasters that's on Etsy. So if you want to look that up, sometimes I sell Nerfdrinos there. I'll sell brushless stuff. I've closed it down for a while since I'm finishing up college, but it'll be back up and running this May. And then Brian Beckstrand, that's BECKSTRAND on Facebook. If you ever need anything, have any questions, just hit me up in DM. I can help most people with their brushless stuff, and I wire a lot of strifes. I think I've done about 20 at this
Very
point.
cool. Good luck with college.
I'm done in a month.
Nice.
Yep, I'm done.
Radio Silence, where can the people find you?
Well,
or can the people find you?
I'm usually on the Nerf Discord, and I have an Instagram, and I guess I post on Imager once in a while. And my YouTube channel is pretty much just demos of what I'm into, but I can be found under the name Radio Silence 187.
Very cool. And again, I'm Adriana from Foam Blast. You can find me on Instagram at Foam Blast Shop, on Facebook at Foam Blast, and on YouTube at just Foam Blast, I think. Yes. So I don't remember my own YouTube. And I think that's time, 6:30. Is that correct? Did I do it right? Hooray, I did it.
Oh, I went to Mac.
All right. Say bye, everybody. Oh yeah,
No,
we can.
I don't have any loaded blasters.
Me neither. Everything
bet.
functional's inside. Oh well.
Bex is going to do a mag dump to get us out of here.
That sounds amazing.
Sounds so good.